Welcome to another episode of How Did Today. I will be taking you back to the 1900s. In this video, I'll be informing you on the Tuskegee experiments. Let's get started. The Tuskegee experiment, officially known as the Tuskegee study of untreated syphilis in the Negro male, was a notorious medical study conducted by the United States Public Health Service, USPHS. From 1932 to 1972. The study aimed to investigate the natural progression of untreated syphilis in African American men, but it became a prime example of unethical and harmful research practices that violated basic human rights and medical ethics. Initiated in Macon County, Alabama, the study enrolled a total of 600 African American men, 399 of whom were already infected with syphilis, while the remaining 201 served as a control group. The participants were predominantly poor sharecroppers who lacked access to proper medical care. The participants were not informed of the true nature of the study. Instead, they were told that they were receiving free medical care for bad blood, a term used to refer to a variety of illnesses. What makes the Tuskegee experiment particularly egregious is the fact that penicillin, a highly effective treatment for syphilis, became widely available in the 1940s. However, the researchers deliberately withheld treatment from the participants, even when it could have saved their lives or alleviated their suffering. This extended over several decades, resulting in needless pain, suffering, and even death for many participants. The study's unethical nature becomes even more evident considering the Nuremberg Code, established after World War II to establish ethical standards for human experimentation. The Tuskegee experiment directly violated several of these principles, including the requirement of informed consent and the necessity to prioritize the well-being of the participants over scientific goals. Public outrage and growing ethical concerns eventually led to the study's exposure. In 1972, a leak to the press prompted public outcry and government intervention, resulting in the immediate termination of the study. The Tuskegee experiment's revelations led to significant changes in research ethics policies, including the establishment of institutional review boards, IRBs, to ensure the protection of human subjects in research. The legacy of the Tuskegee experiment has had far-reaching implications. It deepened mistrust between African American communities and the medical establishment, as the study highlighted the exploitation and abuse of vulnerable populations. This mistrust continues to affect healthcare-seeking behaviors and participation in medical research among African Americans today. Efforts to address these issues have included community engagement and outreach programs to rebuild trust and ensure equitable participation in research. In 1997, President Bill Clinton issued an official apology to the survivors of the Tuskegee experiment and their families during a White House ceremony. This apology acknowledged the government's failure to uphold ethical standards and protect the well-being of the participants. Additionally, the federal government established the Tuskegee University National Center for Bioethics in Research and Healthcare to educate about the importance of ethical research practices and promote ethical conduct in medical research. The Tuskegee experiment serves as a tragic reminder of the consequences of unchecked power and the importance of maintaining ethical standards in scientific research. It highlights the potential for harm when marginalized communities are exploited for the sake of scientific inquiry and underscores the need for continuous vigilance to ensure the protection and well-being of human subjects in research. In conclusion, the Tuskegee experiment stands as a dark chapter in the history of medical research and ethics. The study's disregard for the well-being of its participants, the violation of basic human rights, and the perpetuation of mistrust have left an indelible mark on the field of medicine and our understanding of ethical research practices. The lessons learned from this shameful episode continue to influence how researchers, policymakers, and society as a whole approach issues of consent, equity, and justice in scientific inquiry. To be advised, this is not a perpetuation of violence, but yet a piece of information for the gaining of knowledge. Nothing more, nothing less. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.